Hi, good evening. Today I and my wife and my son was my son went to real estate agent and to consult whether we should buy a real estate or rent a apartment in the future because so I have been thinking about it for more than 2 years because my son is getting a grow up and my son has grew up and my apartment is getting smaller and smaller, so that's why I and my wife were started to think about purchasing a house or apartment so in the future and in within 2 years or 3 years before my son's entering elementary school. So that's why we went and saw real estate agent and which is the best for us and our family plan. So and I could get some good idea for the real estate, and this is my first time to consult such a question for the expert of real estate, and because my first think my first thought was to live in an apartment for good, but actually recently I found that there was no good no there are no good apartment for the family in the Tokyo area. So because every real estate is very small or small for the family size, or the real estate is very expensive for rent. So that's why I have second thought to buy a to buy a apartment, to buy a condominium, and so that's why because but actually I have no idea about it, and I'm not expert of it, and even I was not interested in that because I haven't thought such a thing for since now until now. So that's why today I wanted to get some information about it, and I decided to go the um real, es- real estate expert to which is the better to purchase an apartment condominium or house, or we should we should rent the apartment for good. And I haven't decided the next action, but today I could get a lot of information about the real estate, and think about the purchasing real estate is just an investment, and just an investment. So that's why if I bought mansion or condominium, we I have to we have to we had to know the value of the real estate, and we have to plan plan we have to plan to buy the mansion which I would buy. So that is the mm, very good knowledge for me from the real estate experts. And so my priority is that the environment of the children, because the current my apartment is very good, is located at very good situation for adult people, but actually the commuting is the best because the distance from the station is very short, and it takes me about 1 minute from door to from my apartment door to the station. And the station is very nearby the metropolitan area and the terminal of the Tokyo area, and that's why I love to this apartment. But for my son, the apartment is not so good because the room is very small, and there's no room for him to play for freely. So that's why, and even now, and for now, so there is no space for my wife and me to work from home, because there is only one room for work. So that's why I have to change the room when my wife starts the meeting, and or vice versa. So that's why, and the situation is not so good for now. So due to the situation, we decided to start to search a new apartment. So, and the priority of the next next house, next home, next place to live, the priority is that the place should be a good place for the children. For example, there would be a good elementary school, or the pedestrian is very large, because current town there is no pedestrian, and it is a little bit cautious, dangerous for small children, even if the children are elementary school students, and because the road is very narrow, and there is a heavy traffic. So that's why I think it's a little bit dangerous for small children, and so that's why the I think the next home should be more should be located at a more large place, and it should be a very safe place for children to play, and I want the next place to be a good good parks, and for children, because I want my son to play with freely, without thinking about the danger of car, or the space between the other people. So that's why I want to and purchase or rent a mansion or condominium in the a little bit more larger area than current town. And but actually I think I and my wife should get rid of the think about the advantage of the commuting to the workplace. So that's why such a large place is only located on the not metropolitan area, and I think it should take more than 1 hour from Tokyo metropolitan area to the place which we want to live. So that's why the what the priority of the commute is the second, so that's why we decided to we determine the area, and we we have we have to have a strong decision and a strong will to think about the next place is for my son and not us. So maybe it will be a little bit inconvenient than current place, but I think the next place would be a very good place for my son, and that is the most important thing for us to think about the next place to live in. That's all.